Hazy, sun and clouds, and very warm on Juneteenth. Good Tuesday night, East Tennessee. David Aldridge, Captain Accurate here from the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, we hit 91 today. The record high 102 from 1944, a long time ago. But 91 degrees does represent 5 degrees above normal. We started the morning off at 72, very sticky. So a high of 90 in Oak Ridge, 93 in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge. Way to represent the hot weather there in Sevier County. 89 in Tellico Plains. It was 91 in Athens, 90 degrees in La Folla today. You look around the state, they weren't quite that hot in Nashville. They were at 89, Memphis 84, but it was hotter in Johnson City today. They were 92. Chattanooga coming in at 91 degrees today. You look at the numbers in the past here. We hit 89 back on Thursday the 13th, while Oak Ridge hit 90. We hit 89 yesterday. Oak Ridge hit 90. The point is, they've had now 6 days of 90 plus in Oak Ridge, Anderson County, while our heat wave only lasted 3 days. I know it's semantics, but they typically count 3 consecutive days of 90 as a heat wave in this part of the world. It's an accepted definition. So 89 yesterday, 91 today. We may be back closer to 89 come tomorrow. Want to show you the ultimate Doppler radar presented by your local Marco's Pizza. Nothing to see at this hour, but if you go back the last 12 hours, you have to squint. There were a few spots of rain, even some drizzle that I noticed in western Knox County today. But if we go towards, say, 1 o'clock, there's the clock there, 1 p.m. Yeah, there's a few spots of rain there in Morgan County. Looks like Fentress County, even a few showers northwest of Madisonville. Came into town and then passed through parts of Scott County. Not a whole lot to write home about, but there were a few showers all the same. Hardin Valley, Farragut, Maryville, just some of the locations of a Marco's Pizza near you. Maybe you'd like a slice of pizza today. Check them out in Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. New ownership, new leadership better than ever, and maybe you are hungry for a pepperoni magnifico. That's their large pepperoni pizza, or one of them anyway. You can check it out for less than $10. And a great lunch item, I might add, is the new Pozzoli. Check it out for less than $6. Pepperoni and sausage is my personal favorite. By the way, you can see more rain across parts of Mississippi. There are some concerns right now with Omaha. I know there's no game tonight. It's tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern. But they have a severe thunderstorm warning right now, would appear in Douglas County, which I believe is actually the county that Omaha is located. So they're under severe thunderstorm watch till 8 o'clock Central. But there's some storms rolling through that area of the country. Meanwhile, there's a lot more heat advisories. And in Pittsburgh, they've got an excessive heat warning. That's that fuchsia color. It also extends up into Maine as well. Amazing stuff how New England's complaining about the heat. That very hot up there, while we continue to be dry for now, as it will continue to be that way tomorrow. But the severe weather still breaking out across the Midwest. They've got tornado watches there around Minneapolis, St. Paul. Meanwhile, down to the far south in Texas, they've got flood watches in effect because of something tropical, potentially some tropical rains moving into southeastern Texas in the next few days. Future smoke, this is a good indication of what may be burning in yellow and red, but some of that smoke vertically integrated, meaning we're looking or capturing all the smoke throughout the column of air. It's not all at the surface, but it could add a little bit of haze to the atmosphere as some of the fires burning in the southeast, blowing in this direction through the day tomorrow. This represents 3 p.m. on Wednesday, so we may see a little more haze in the atmosphere. It is something that we like to look at. Just one of the many things we can look at in terms of the sky condition tomorrow. May be a little more hazy. Clouds have been with us throughout the day. We'll call it a partly to mostly cloudy sky. That's the visible satellite fading away with the lower sun angle. But with the colder cloud tops featured in blue, you can see there are some bands of clouds between Chattanooga and Knoxville. We can maybe close in a little bit tighter here. You can see some of those bands. So I described tonight as partly to mostly cloudy skies. I believe this last image here is just after, about 8:25. So you can see this last image there has 4 extra clouds in Anderson County, stretching up into parts of Campbell and Scott County. Is it sticky? Yes, but maybe not as bad as it was. With a dew point of 64, at least it's not in the 70s like it is in Nashville and Bowling Green. But you'll notice there are some mid-70s back toward Jackson, Kentucky. Kentucky is 75. Jackson, Tennessee is 74. So it is stuffy where you have dew points in the 70s. Will this ebb and flow? Naturally it will. By tomorrow afternoon, it might drop so much that you hardly notice the humidity as some of the green oozes away. But it will come back, if not Thursday afternoon. A better chance as we head into Friday and Saturday. That's my expectation anyway, as it will ebb and flow. But the humidity will be a factor. I think once we add more heat to the equation, we'll be generally in the low to mid 90s heading into Friday and Saturday and right into Sunday. Meanwhile, the tropics, are in fact heating up with PTC number 1, geek speak for potential tropical cyclone 1. You might be asking yourself, why don't you just give it a name? Well, that's a good question. I think they're just on the cusp of saying, well, you know what, if we call it PTC number 1, then people will pay attention to it. I guess that's one way. But if you give it a name, which would be Alberto, then everybody thinks, oh, is that what Alberto is going to give us a big storm? It's going to give the big rains to southeast Texas, but the stronger winds may in fact head toward Mexico as projected here, and that would occur around Thursday morning when it makes landfall. But the rains are going to be heavier south of Houston, really affecting areas around Corpus Christi and throughout the southern part of the Lone Star State. You can see that illustrated pretty clearly here. There's Houston just in the bottom left of your screen, but there's representative of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain, potentially in southern sections of Texas. Well, there isn't much here. Be careful what you wish for as we move the clock right through early July, right to Independence Day. Some of that will be filling in along the beaches of the East Coast and could very well fill in here, so we may be getting 1, 2, 3 inches of rain or more just before the 4th of July. Not saying it would happen on the 4th, but it could develop in the days before. Meanwhile, the tropical names on the list this year include Alberto, followed by Burl, and then Chris. These are predetermined names that they typically recycle every 6 years. If they're not deadly or perhaps noteworthy, they will be usually recycled. But you have a 30% chance that PTC number 1 gets the name Alberto. I know it's like watching a game show. Is it going to get a name or is it not? That's going to be decided not by me or yours truly, but will be decided by our friends at the Hurricane Center in Miami. If they deem it worthy, they'll give it the name Alberto. Otherwise, they might just wait for this to crash into Mexico and fade away. Meanwhile, hurricane season does peak, typically in August, September, so make your plans accordingly, because even though the tropics are a little active now, they're only likely to increase in the days and weeks ahead. Hazy, sunny clouds on Juneteenth. That's tomorrow, the federal holiday. Post office and, of course, the banks are closed. Hotter days to end the week, and the chances of rain are pretty limited. Right now, they're centered around Sunday and Monday with only a 30% chance. I want to show you the future cast at 5,000 feet. This gives us a good idea of the heat that's going to be building. We go through the 20th of June. That's the first day of summer. Heading into Saturday. Does it warm up? You betcha it does. Notice the orange colors, right? There's 530. It looks pretty toasty. So if that's what it looks like at 5,000 feet, imagine some of that warmth that reaches the surface. We should be in the mid-90s on Saturday, about 96. Sunday will not be much cooler, as I think it will maybe by the time we get Monday night into Monday morning. But there is still some opportunities, no doubt, before things end the weekend. It's going to be very, very toasty. Meanwhile, we want to talk about the severe weather threat tomorrow. Thankfully, it's not in Omaha, but it will affect the areas that could be impacted by that tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico. That's Houston, Victoria, Corpus Christi for some isolated severe storms. We could include northern Texas, too, with Amarillo due to a different system. But there's Omaha on the left side of your screen. They are not, I repeat, not under a severe risk tomorrow for that 3 o'clock game. Just some general thunderstorms are possible there, but some isolated severe storms may occur between Milwaukee, Rockford, and Davenport. Nothing going on here in terms of severe weather because we have a dry day on Wednesday. Come Thursday, general thunderstorms exist again in Omaha. Nothing here, but there will be some isolated severe storms in upstate New York, from Buffalo to Rochester to Syracuse and Albany, all the way up to New England, and maybe a few areas near the Tri-Cities for general thunderstorms and pretty quiet elsewhere. But I want to show you the future cast as we go through tonight. Not much to see in terms of rain locally, maybe a few showers near Bowling Green. Let's take you through midday tomorrow. Now, this would be about 3 hours before the game because we have a 3 o'clock game in Omaha, and they may have some downpours, right? That's 12:15 Eastern. The game's at 3 as the Tennessee Volunteers take on Florida State for a second time around in the Men's College World Series. But it's interesting, too, as we move the clock forward. You can see by 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it starts to move away. Let's hope it gets out of there and doesn't cause any delays, but that's something we'll be watching all the same. Us will dry things out, keep it dry through the day tomorrow for Wednesday, Thursday, and essentially Friday as it just gets hotter over time. I got 92 on Thursday, 94 on Friday, and by the time we hit Saturday, I think we'll get up to about 96. So a very hot outlook heading into your upcoming weekend, no doubt. How about fog in the morning? Well, maybe a patch or two This doesn't always line up perfectly, but it suggests by 7:15 there might be some patchy fog between La Follette, Oneida, and perhaps Jellicoe, maybe a little patch or two between Loudoun and Madisonville first thing tomorrow morning. That's what is projected here. But tonight, as we look at the low temperatures, should be around 68 for a low, partly to mostly cloudy, a touch of fog late. Winds are going to be variable 0 to 5 miles per hour. Low temperature tonight in Kingston, 67. Maryville, Alcoa, 67, and 66 for a low in Talbot, Morristown, and Jefferson City and Dandridge. Wednesday, I think will be near 90, maybe academic, whether we hit 89 or 90, but hazy sunshine and clouds will be expected with maybe just a little bit less humidity than we had today. 90 in La Follette, 90 in Middlesboro, should reach about 90 in Sevierville, and 92 for Tellico Plains for afternoon highs on Wednesday. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville and East Tennessee. Yes, Juneteenth is tomorrow. Sunshine, we say hello to summer astronomically at 4:50. That's probably the best time to send out your tweet that says season's greetings, because it is a new season at 4:50 on Thursday. Technically summer, astronomically speaking. 30% chance of rain Sunday and Monday. It's not going to be everywhere. So you might have to pull out the garden hose. I suspect you should pull out the garden hose if you're trying to water those tomato plants, as it's going to be cooking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days in the mid-90s, possibly lower 90s come Tuesday of next week. By the way, you can keep track of it all using the Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic. It's free. Pete Michaels, the best traffic reporter in town. He's been doing this since the 1970s, y'all. You got to have Pete Michaels on your app. Weather and traffic, perfect together, and you keep your family safe. Just search the 2 words Captain Accurate at the App Store and Google Play. And it works very good. Excellent on your iPad as well. My name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you next time. Take care.